Hey everybody, welcome to Top 10s. Today, we're going to go over the top 10 scary things caught by camera. Make sure to watch until number 1 because it's most creepiest of all. Number 10. The ruins are said to be haunted by the spirit of a young girl, said that her heart was buried beneath the ruins of the old abbey, for reasons. Today, considering this history of hauntings, it's unsurprising that numerous residents of the area have come forward with scary recordings of bizarre happenings around the neighborhood. This particular video was recorded on a CCTV camera posted outside a house in the area, a black and white shot of 2 cars parked in the driveway, and a few trash bins scattered around. Few seconds into the video, the trash bins begins to slowly move onward between the 2 cars. After a few slow stops and starts, the bin gains momentum and rolls out into the street. Seeing the video, believe that it can easily be explained by gravity, but trash bins are usually designed so the way that the contents were prevented from rolling on its own. Pointed out that because the meaning stops numerous times and rolled by making a sharp turn, it couldn't be moving simply because of some supernatural thing. Number 9. Some teenagers just decided to film a comedic parody of the television show, Ghost Hunters. Then abandoned county prison video uploader mentioned he and his friends were just goofing around, didn't expect to catch anything on camera. Once they begin to edit their footage from the prison hallway, they find that they might have actually caught something supernatural.
Alright, so we're in the phase of the investigation now where everybody breaks off in their own little areas with, a handy cam, and we're just sort of checking around to see if we can find anything on our own. And hopefully, each one of us finds our own evidence, our own personal stories. Just sort of checking around.
Number 8. This clip by Andrew Bear, filmmaker for Bourne Film Studios. Andrew was filming a scene for a horror movie in his historic and Avery haunted Doña Ana County Courthouse in New Mexico. In the scene they are filming, the actress Chelsea is meant to be overcome with a fear because in movie she were supposed to be stalking her through the building's hallways. But acting soon turned into very real terror.
Keep it.
See it?
Wait, turn the light back.
Filmmaker and the actress are the only ones on the 3rd floor of the courthouse, but suddenly a startling and very real door slam can be heard from somewhere nearby. Now of course, since this clip came from a professional filmmaker, I was especially skeptical. But I think the footage, along with their very believable reactions, speaks for itself. So, is it real or fake? I want to see your opinion.
And so at the time, I had the camera in my hand, and I almost reacted immediately when I heard it. It was like it was next to me. And so she said she saw something behind me, and we just...
Number 7. 2 girls were all alone at home late one night when they hear strange noises coming from their basement to take a camera and a couple of flashlights and go to investigate.
Open it. Oh my gosh, it's really cold in here. It's freezing. What is that? Oh, I don't know. Here, you hold my flashlight. Go look at the door. Yeah. Just do it.
The girls' reactions in the video seem really legit. So they were either very scared or that was pretty good acting. This all could have just been a prank. That goes on camera could just be their big brother, and let me know what you think down in the comment. Number 6. Something strange is happening in the office. The CCTV cameras that monitor the office have been turned out some seriously scary recordings when the office was empty and all staff had gone home. In the first video we see a shot of a cluttered office. Several desks are in view, each covered with lots of office work and personal trinkets. Everything looks normal first few seconds of the video. Then the poltergeist shows its presence. A small toy car resting on one of the desks starts moving on its own. There's no one in the office. It's late at night. So, workers are confused as to how the toy moved on its own. A second video is recorded in the bright light of day from a different CCTV camera. We see down one shot of a worker's desktop as he settled in for the day's work. He places a cup of coffee to the right of his computer monitor. After resting it on the desk for a few seconds, the full thermos suddenly jumps a few inches to the side, spilling the hot liquid. When the footage is slowed down, there doesn't appear to be anything manipulating the cup. No one who works in the office has any idea what could be causing these paranormal events. Number 5. This video shows something terrifying in the night sky. The video was taken in the evening sky, which was deep and full of low clouds. Then something unnatural is providing a bright light that illuminates much in the surrounding area. A bit above the horizon, a huge oval of light flashes brightly in several pale colors, completely lining up a section of the sky. The flashing goes on for a while, but the light remains more or less the same sized around a stretch. No one knows the source of this light. Soon after, the light disappears and everything returns to normal. People who viewed the video believe that the line is most likely coming from a malfunctioning electrical transformer miles away. And some says it is some kind of supernatural event. So, what are your guesses? Number 4. This video from Miami shows some kind of poltergeist activity or a ghost of small boy. The uploader said that his son loves to play with these large plastic flashlight, which blinks and flashes with bright colors. The strange thing about the toy is that it doesn't only flash when the child is playing with it. At random times throughout the day, the toy will turn on all by itself and start the action. He was sitting on the shelf and he pulled out his camera, focuses on the toys, and rests on the shelf in the child's playroom. Then he asks that any spirits in the room to make a sign, but they're there. Shockingly, the toy turns on. Moments later, Brian lights for several seconds before turning off. The damage in the electronics can be the reason of this. But the timing of this particular incident makes you think that there could be something paranormal happening. Number 3. A worker at electricity department begins to hear scary sounds while working the late night shift in an empty building.
Que se escuchan ruidos extraños ahí en el baño. En el baño de las mujeres. Se escuchan ruidos extraños. Se abrió la puerta. Está sonando ahí. Se oye al fondo ahí. Por Dios, vea la silla.
The security guard retreats to the back of the building. Everywhere he goes, new creepy events wait for him.
Por Dios, qué susto me pegué.
If you notice, some odd white shape can be seen appearing in the doorway. Just before the door closes, the video ends there. What do you think? Is this his office building, a home of ghosts? Or something else? Number 2. Spanish pesetas uploaded this terrifying footage captured by CCTV camera. A bizarre figures visited this residence life one night. We see a creepy person or creature rubbing on all floors around the property. CCTV camera captures close-ups of the bigger, but it appears to be a cross between a human and a dog. The entity moves on all fours like an animal when it comes closer to the camera. Its body appears to be that of a human, skin is hairless and pale, but its head seems to be darker. Because the appearance of the greatest body, some are apt to believe that it's simply a human running naked through the night on all four corners. Whether the way it moves seems to rule the possibility that it's not a human. The human body is built to walk in a straight mode, and no human could easily run with such speed and agility. There are other theories or possibilities that explain these scary recordings. Perhaps this is a human, but one possessed by some sort of animalistic demon. So is it a possessed human or some creepy creature? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below.
Before we get further, kindly consider liking this video and subscribing the channel. I would really appreciate that. Thanks.
After turning one corner in the bathroom, he quickly retreats. He keeps reciting prayers to ward off unholding entities.
No mames, güey. Hay alguien, güey. A la verga.
By this replay, it becomes clear that he has reason to run. Just around the corner is a ghostly white space out from the darkness. The face appears to be floating in a dark shadow over it several feet from the floor, that we can't see it clearly. Something about the entity's expression menacing. Video ends before we find out what happened after the security guard retreated for the second time. The face and the shadows has made several viewers terrified for safety. These entities strictly the stuff, nightmares. So, that was it for today's video. And still, if you are not convinced, then you can check these YouTube's recommendation. Bye guys.